Hey, what is up everyone? This is Gungjo, and today I'm bringing you a Rogue Company gameplay video with my first impressions. Now this is a game I've been playing for the last week, I'd say. I think it's been out for around a week, and it's been occupying a lot of my time. It really is a lot of fun, and Rogue Company is a game that really isn't doing anything especially innovative or different compared to games you will have played before, but compared to games that really exist right now on console, this game is in a really unique position. The last tactical third-person shooter I played was like Ghost Recon Future Soldier or something like that, perhaps. I mean, obviously, I've gotten my fix from The Last of Us Factions and Uncharted 4, but those games are, well, Last of Us Factions and Uncharted 4 have some issues with their tick rate, so they're problematic to play in the long term, I'd say, with a 15 tick rate. They really feel like quite laggy games before getting into anything. But also, and those are older games now. There's nothing really new out there at the moment that's well supported with third-person mechanics and fairly tactical shooting that's popular. And Rogue Company just fills that void. And for me, it's the most fun I've had since something like The Last of Us Factions in terms of that style of game. So this has been a really cool game for me and a lot of my friends right now. So in Rogue Company, there are two game modes. One of them is called Demolition, and that's your kind of limited lives. I mean, both modes have limited lives, but that one has a non-respawnable mode per round. So you have one life. If you lose it, you have to wait till the next round to respawn again. The objective there is to plant the bomb. So if you're the attacking team, you plant the bomb. If you're the defending team, you prevent the other team from planting the bomb. If you're familiar with things like Call of Duty Search and Destroy, then this mode will be really familiar to you. It's really strategic, like nitty-gritty team communication and strategy style game mode where you're kind of coordinating your abilities, like talking about which point you want to push, which one you want to defend, how you want to split, things like that. Really cool kind of team play dynamics promoted by that mode. Obviously, it's very similar to things like Valorant as well, Valorant and CSGO in terms of the structure, although I will say, because of this game's third-person mechanics and because of things like the time to kill, it doesn't play like those games. If you haven't been playing a lot of third-person shooters, and especially a lot of tactical third-person shooters, then you're going to have to get used to things like corner peeking and just being careful of your angles and things like that. You'll see a lot in this video. I'm scouting ahead of me before moving forward. So I'm going behind cover, looking around the corner, and then whenever I make a movement, I'm kind of making it very cautiously from cover to cover. Because the thing is, like, you get information about what's ahead of you by looking around a corner, but you don't necessarily know who is around another corner. So that means you have to move really strategically from piece to piece of cover and flip the camera shoulder as well to make sure you're giving yourself the best advantage as you're moving. And for me, that's a lot of fun. A lot of people say that kind of third-person shooters are unfair because someone can see you behind the corner and then they can just pop out and shoot you. But the thing is, you have the exact same advantage. So it's not unfair so much as it just affects the pacing of the game and the dynamics of the game. And for me, a big fan of games like SOCOM, Ghost Recon, I really enjoy that third-person dynamic. I really enjoy that strategic gameplay and kind of holding angles and that cautiousness that comes with the third-person camera. So for me, this style of game is right up my alley. It's exactly what I wanted from Rogue Company, and it brings me back to games like The Last of Us and maybe even like classic Gears of War 1 and 2, because I really used to enjoy those games back in the day. And as I was saying, this game doesn't play like CSGO and Valorant for a couple of reasons, really. The third person is the big one, but the other one is just the time to kill and the pacing of matches. Like, in CSGO and Valorant, you're talking one-shot headshots to kill someone. Here, it's maybe 5 with an assault rifle or something like that, so the time to kill is completely different. You also have an evasive maneuver, you have a roll ability, so if you're ever in a pinch and someone is kind of like catching you by surprise, so long as you haven't completely overstepped your angle and completely overstepped into a very vulnerable position on the map, you can often roll into cover very quickly. So there are some mechanics there that are very different from that style of game. Like if you overstep an angle in CSGO and you've made a mistake, it's usually going to kill you. But here it doesn't really matter. You can take some chances, you can take some risks, and you can peek back and forth and have a real gunfight with someone without it ending very quickly. And like I say, that makes it a different game. It doesn't necessarily make it a better game or a worse game, but it makes the comparisons to CSGO and Valorant kind of redundant because it's just not how this game plays. It's a very different game. Obviously, in terms of like the objective structure and the 3-lane kind of map structure, it does have some similarities, but that's really where they end. Like gameplay-wise, it feels like a different game. And I think that puts Rogue Company in a good space because it means that, when Valorant presumably comes to console, I can enjoy that, and I will also be able to enjoy Rogue Company for different reasons. And I think that's what's worth giving this game a try. If you're already familiar with games like Search and Destroy in Call of Duty or CSGO or Valorant, then I still think Rogue Company is worth your time. It's not just a knockoff of those other games, it's its own thing. Additionally, alongside that kind of strategic, non-respawnable game mode, the game also has a respawnable mode called Strikeout, where you compete with another team across 3 rounds with 12 lives for your team per round over an objective. And that mode really is a lot of fun for me. It's a lot more similar to the default modes in games like The Last of Us, where you just have a life pool for your team, and you get to respawn so long as you have lives in the bank. And that's a lot faster action than the other mode, and I think if you just want to practice the gunplay, and even if you just enjoy the gunplay and movement more than you enjoy the strategy side of things, it's a really good mode to kind of get into. And just having that mode, to be honest with you, is really interesting because it changes the balance of every character in the game depending on which mode you're playing. Like, for instance, the character on screen right now is called Talon, and he has this recon ability where he can throw out a little drone and it will show you a scan on the map, and if an enemy walked into that area, they'll be scanned. In Demolition, you can only use that once per round, but in Strikeout, you can place multiple of those scans per round, so you can cover multiple angles. So if you kind of get those stacked up, you can end up covering multiple angles onto an objective. There are counterplays to this, like characters like Glitch can see them and destroy them, and other characters can just shoot them out. But if you play strategically and carefully, you can really play a different game plan in Strikeout than you could in Demolition. And obviously it's just a different mode too, because instead of having 2 objectives that you have to defend or potentially attack, you just have 1 in Strikeout, so it's much more intense on the action side of things. One thing I noticed that a lot of players were confused with Strikeout, including myself, is exactly how the mode was scored and how they were losing lives. And the thing about this mode is, by holding the objective, every time the timer goes down, your opposing team lose a life. So at first it seems like, well, why hold the objective? If we just kill the opposing team, it doesn't matter. But every kind of minute you're holding the objective, you're losing a life for the opposing team. So it's a really strong strategy to just hold the objective and defend it. You don't need to push the enemy team all the way back. You can just hold the objective and that'll force the enemy team to push, and you'll find yourself getting a lot of kills and a lot of action on the objective as they desperately try and recapture it. At the moment, that is definitely a usability issue, I would say. Like, it's not clearly communicated, and the majority of my teammates don't understand that, and I imagine most of the random people we play with don't understand it either. But obviously it's in beta, and that's something that the developers need to work on. Another really cool aspect of the game are the characters, and this isn't dissimilar from other hero shooters where you have, a cast of characters and they all have their own unique abilities, but Hi-Rez really did a good job of uniquely identifying each of these characters in the battlefield. They all have abilities that are unto themselves. No one really overlaps with one another. You all have different things that you're trying to do on the map and different value that you bring to every team, and I think that makes it really fun to learn a new character and learn their playstyle. Like, personally, like I say, I've been playing Talon, who's a more reconnaissance style character, and my job as a Talon, I find, is usually to try and cover the flank with some intel. Like, obviously you can place the scan on the objective and then you kind of have it in front of you, but I think the most value you get from Talon is watching the flank without actually having to directly watch it. If you put a scan up on the flank, that means anyone without the invisible to radar perk will appear when they try and flank you. So that's a really big boost to your team, especially if you're just playing with randoms and they aren't communicating that well or anything like that. It's really useful for them to be able to see on the minimap when someone is flanking them, because without that you often find just one guy flanks around and he's going to wipe your team. But Talon is the direct counterplay to that kind of strategy. And there are ways around it. Like I said, there are characters with the kind of anti-detection perk, so they can't be detected by Talon's sonar ability. But those characters don't have the silent footsteps perk, so those characters you will be able to audibly hear as they flank you in most cases. So there's a good balance there. There's a good rock, paper, scissors system with the kind of characters and the abilities of other characters, which I think is really cool in the game right now. I think the game seems pretty well balanced. Most of the auto rifles in the game have a similar time to kill, and some of them are a little bit weaker, and that's because they have other benefits. Like for instance, Talon's SMG is a silenced SMG by default, so other characters have to kind of buy upgrades for their assault rifle to get a silencer. Talon's is silenced by default, so that means Talon's is a little bit weaker by default, but you get that benefit of having a silencer. So yeah, there's a lot of like kind of small trades and offsets that kind of keep things in check while also being really interesting. So the game is in closed beta at the moment, and most of my friends were able to get a free code from some Reddit giveaway, but if you aren't, then usually you can pick one up on Reddit or something like that at some point. Apparently all the old codes for the old betas also work, so you can use those if you can happen to stumble upon one. Otherwise, the game costs, I think, $12, or £12 actually, as the entry fee on the UK PSN store. I bought the version with all the characters, which was £30. It seemed like a good deal. I'm really enjoying the game. I've already spent about 24 hours on this game, so I already feel like I've got my money's worth. And just having all the characters, being able to flip through all different playstyles, just adds a lot to the variety of the game. I'm going to be playing this game a lot in the future alongside Apex Legends 2, so what I think I'm going to be doing is putting up some tips videos and things like that. I have a lot of experience with third-person shooters and a lot of experience playing ranked in games like Uncharted 4 and like the more sweaty modes in things like The Last of Us, and I'm really kind of familiar with the flow of third-person shooters, so I'll be putting up some tips videos to help new players that maybe aren't as adjusted to those kind of gameplay mechanics, and hopefully that helps some of you guys. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to leave the commentary for this match in the background, and if you want to, you can enjoy the rest of this match of Strikeout. This has been Gung Joe. Hopefully you check out Rogue Company and enjoyed the video.
Yeah. That'd be great. Can you imagine?
Everything's not like just start dancing, then you die. Oh, that would dollars as well.
Lethal out! Objective acquired. Defend it. Lethal out.
Oh. This guy's straight to your left, find the little thing, bullet.
Okay,
Lethal
so
out.
this chick shotgun is super good once you upgrade it, but before that it's really bad.
Lethal out.
Is it one-shotting people now, boy?
Give me up.
Yeah, I'm also really stupidly lagging out of cover.
Can't vault over that wall. I tried like 4 times. That's stupid.
I'm down.
It one-shots people when you have the perk.
Enemies have control of the objective. Capture it. Lethal out.
Oh, this girl just walked right past me and I can't do anything because the reload.
You have 5 lives left.
Alright, we need
Objective
to,
lost.
Yeah, man.
Let's get it
need
back.
to really fix this.
Lethal out.
Careful. There's a knife there. Don't go through that door. Oh, I just downed him with his own knife. Lol.
Enemies have 5 lives left. Keep up the pressure.
Buddy, you're such buddy.
We have control of the objective. Defend it.
I'm good.
Guy right here.
Enemies are running low on reinforcements. Crush them.
Need help.
Just chill behind the walls.
Lethal
Behind the
out.
walls, use the...
Move back, boy, move
I
back.
don't think that...
I'm fine. Thanks.
Nice.
Got him!
They're out of lives.
Thank you, Lee.
Get up, Rogue.
Their Dima is like one shot, dude.
Fine. Thanks.
They just resting outside the wall.
45 seconds left. Keep it up.
Dude,
I
that's
need
12 downs. I
more
could get it this game.
Objective acquired. Defend it. Enemies eliminated. That's
I
what I
need
like to
8
see.
downs this round. None of you kill people. Cool.
That works.
Stay in the ship. Just stay in the ship.
Until you lose 16 lives on your own.
Exactly.
How did you need?
It kicks.
8.
8, Jesus Christ. That's not happening.
That's too many.
You underestimate me. My
You
desperateness for
estimate
trophies.
me.
Lethal out.
How dare you estimate me?
We have control of the objective. Defend it.
That's gonna kill me.
Aw,
That's it. Die.
I got right there. Oh, I see what you can use that for. You can pick up weapons.
Ah, he got me with a katana. I mean, I was already down, but he did hit me with it. Use what for, dude? What use what for?
His glove.
Yeah, what do you think it was for?
No, you can use it for like to pick up guns as well.
Yeah. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, I didn't. I never
think
put
Bro
two
let
and
me
two
do
together on that.
It's annoying though, because like sometimes you're aiming at the other gun and it just picks up the wrong fucking thing over and over again. Like, it's shit.
Enemies have 5 lives left.
Lethal
Keep
out.
up the pressure.
Sage is desperate. You can see him pushing their spawn.
You can see as the gazelle pushes the spawn.
Yeah, it's dead.
I can't hear Borlo. Is he going out of his way
No, I can hear you.
to stop me?
You're stopping yourself, dude.
The enemies have 1 reinforcement remaining.
I mean, I have 1 reinforcement.
I
I've
get rest
died
right
once
here.
this round.
They're out of lives.
Buddy, you are so slow.
That's it, dude. No more stage, sorry.
Lethal out.
Sorry to do that one
Lethal
time.
out. I need a hand.
45 seconds and this one's ours.
Yeah, okay. So,
We only
I shouldn't have been
5
round there with.
reinforcements remaining.
They spawned there, so yeah.
Objective lost. Let's get it back.
I can't. Just so you know, Sage, I can't kill you with my katana throw.
Need help.
You can't kill me.
Nope,
Lethal out.
doesn't work.
Objective secured. Defend it.
Did you try and kill me?
Enemies have been wiped out. First round on me.
I need a win.